Well, I've been playing with iTunes U today, figuring out what I can use it for in my own classroom. And there's a few things that I found that I thought would be helpful, and so I'm just going to review those. First off, of course, I found the EdTech endorsement class, which I knew was on there, but it's always nice to be able to review the classes that we've had and any of that information. Next, I found a couple of resources that would be good for me as a teacher, one on evolution, one that's called Saturday Morning Science. It's by the University of Missouri. And basically, it's hour-long sessions that they're for anyone who likes science or is interested in science but doesn't necessarily have a science background. And then there's another one called Science Cafe, which was also interesting. The problem was that most of these wouldn't be for my students necessarily, but they gave me good background information for teaching my students. The evolution one gave me some great examples of groups of organisms that have mutated and such, and we end up talking about that in 7th grade science. And then the other ones just had some interesting topics that, I don't know, they might spark interest in my kids. Maybe I could use some of the ideas. I think it'd be fun for some of them to watch some of the episodes that involve kids, because they could, I don't know, be inspired for their science fair projects. That's how I thought I could apply it. After searching around on what I could find under science, I decided to do a search for 7th grade science. And that's when I came to some classes that were set up by 7th grade science teachers around the nation. And that's probably where I got the most resources. Basically, I'm able to see what other teachers are using to teach the same concepts that I am. I found notes and images and Bill Nye videos and worksheets that go with those. Though I wasn't sure how to access some of the information, I would try and click on it and it wouldn't come up, but some of the stuff would. There's another one, the microscope song created by one of the teachers. I mean, just listen to this. It's great. I'm going to fast forward it a little bit. Check this out. Anyway, that one was of particular interest to me because I just taught the microscope, and my kids are just getting into the parts of the microscope and how to use it and such. Anyway, my overall impression of iTunes U is that a lot of it's pretty boring for my students, but it'd be interesting for me. How a lot of the topics are kind of obscure and don't fit necessarily with the core, but I don't think that's a problem with the iTunes U part. I think it maybe is more of a problem with our core. We're not staying up to date with what's going on in the real world. So I think it'd be great to get my kids, listening to interesting science topics, but do they correlate so much with my core? Not a ton. I'm sure if I did some more research, I'd be able to find some more. Time versus quality of stuff that I'm going to find, I don't know if I will. But like I said, finding the stuff for 7th grade science and what teachers are using, that was probably the most helpful. And so I'm excited to do that. I actually will. I really like that microscope song, as silly as it was, and I think I could use that and probably some other resources. So anyway, that's my experience with iTunes U.